Former WWE superstars Shelton Benjamin, MVP, and Bobby Lashley, collectively known as the Hurt Business, now the Hurt Syndicate, have reportedly held talks with AEW. We'll let you know all the details on that. Plus, the Twitter spat between referee Bryce Remsburg and former AEW star and WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry has seemingly been resolved. CM Punk's friendship bracelet merchandise was pulled and then re-added to the WWEshop.com website. Chris Jericho files an interesting trademark, one of his catchphrases, as part of his learning tree gimmick. An update on AEW star The Blade following back fusion surgery. Ricochet teases a match against Will Ospreay at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. Plus, NXT superstar Wendy Chu will challenge for the TNA Knockouts World Championship at the upcoming Victory Road event. Plus, some really exciting news when it comes to just how successful this pay-per-view could be for TNA Wrestling. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the developing news this evening regarding the former Hurt Business, now known as the Hurt Syndicate, holding talks with All Elite Wrestling. A new but familiar act has been in talks with AEW. Now, a recent trademark has led to much speculation about the future of what was the Hurt Business. Now, Totally Harmless Concept LLC filed to trademark the Hurt Syndicate 2 weeks ago after previously filing for trademarks on other MVP-related phrases and names. Now, Fightful Select Sean Ross Sapp can now confirm there have been discussions and even so plans to continue a faction similar to the Hurt Business outside of WWE. Specifically, Fightful Select are reporting they have heard that AEW has had discussions with Bobby Lashley, MVP, and Shelton Benjamin in recent weeks. However, Fightful have not been told that a deal was done or indeed a deal was imminent. Now, as was noted recently by Fightful, Bobby Lashley's deal with WWE has expired. MVP and Shelton Benjamin are also free agents. Fightful say they've not heard of any involvement with tonight's AEW Tag Team Casino Gauntlet, of course, that's taking place on AEW Dynamite. Of course, if we get any more details on that, we'll let you know. And of course, if they do appear on Dynamite tonight, we'll let you know in tomorrow's morning news video. Now, this was certainly an interesting story regarding a back and forth between an AEW referee and a former AEW star. Now, following the event from All Out last weekend, a clip from the show made the rounds on social media, which appeared to show referee Bryce Remsburg pushing Jack Perry's leg during a pin attempt in the AEW World Championship match against Bryan Danielson. You can see the screen grab of him pushing the leg right there on the screen. Now, former AEW broadcaster and WWE Hall of Famer Mark Henry, as I mentioned, Henry left AEW earlier this year, said, quote, "I'm not commenting, I'll be called a hater." Now, this prompted a response from Bryce Remsburg himself, which you can see on the screen right there. He said, quote, "Hey, Mark, this angle doesn't show exactly what happened. You were always so nice to me backstage at AEW, and I constantly helped you with your travel whenever I could. If you think something is wonky, feel free to reach out directly whenever." Now, this prompted a lot of backlash on social media, with some suggesting that Henry was wrong to call out his displeasure with the spot in the first place and make that comment. There were some that pushed back on Bryce Remsburg and said that he shouldn't take to social media if he's got a problem with Mark Henry. Rather, he should just address him or call him directly. Now, Taz, another AEW broadcaster, quote tweeted Bryce Remsburg tweet and said, quote, "Hey brother, you do not need to explain yourself or apologize for anything to anybody. As you know, shit happens out there in a ring and talent aren't robots. They are human and no one is perfect. You are the best in the biz in my opinion. F all that noise, keep being great." Now, it must be stressed, Bryce Remsburg tweet, initially, the one that Taz is responding to here, was eventually deleted, and a follow-up was posted this morning by the AEW referee, who tweeted out, quote, "Good morning. Mark Henry called me this morning, and we had a mature, considerate discussion. We understand each other's perspective better. I regret the reaction of negativity I helped create. Support each other and support pro wrestling. Onward, upward." So it would seem for now that the matter is now resolved. Now, speaking of matters, and certainly something that's got quite a few people talking, the friendship bracelet, the CM Punk friendship bracelet at the center of the feud of Drew McIntyre is now spun off into merchandise, but there's been some tweaks to it. Now, shortly after WWE's replica bracelets for the aforementioned friendship bracelet involving CM Punk's wife, AJ, and Larry being involved at the center of his feud of Drew McIntyre, shortly after they went on sale on WWEshop.com, they were pulled from the website after the original maker of the bracelet, a fan named Victoria, noted that the company didn't give her a heads up before releasing the item. Yesterday, Victoria commented on the item being removed from WWE Shop, saying the following quotes: "Hi everyone, thanks again for all the nice words and support. I won't be asking for compensation from WWE since they have every right to make bracelets. All I kind of was hoping for was maybe a mention in the description of the product, i.e. inspired by a fan. Throughout this whole thing, I never expected to be given anything from WWE. All I wanted was for people to put a name/face to where the bracelet came from. I completely understand why some of you guys are upset at WWE, and it means a lot to me that people care so much. For those replying to my initial post about me not getting a heads up and saying WWE didn't need to, I 100% agree they didn't need to. Legally, they had no obligation to reach out to me regarding this, but it would have just been nice to have heard it from them beforehand. If they reached out to me about it, I would have mentioned putting CM Punk on the bracelets instead of AJ and Larry. I think more people would have been interested in that, since now it kind of diminishes the whole storyline purpose of the bracelet. WWE did reach out to me last week as a thank you from Punk and invited me to a show next month, but to my knowledge that invitation had no correlation to them selling the bracelets and wasn't offered as compensation, but I'm still grateful for them contacting me at all." Now, following Victoria's comments, WWE has now re-uploaded the bracelet saying CM Punk instead of AJ and Larry. Of course, we get any more details on possible compensation or any more developments on this, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. Now, Chris Jericho, the learning tree, he's got several catchphrases and he's trademarked another one of them. Whatever anyone wants to say about Chris Jericho, they cannot say he hasn't embraced his new learning tree persona and stable. Founded this past April after he defeated Hook for the FTW Championship at AEW Dynasty, Jericho's delusional heel character has seen him leaning to the perception of fans of him leeching off younger talent and staying in the spotlight past his peak, while also aligning himself with Big Bill and Brian Keith. And with some recent trademark news, it appears Jericho has no plans of cutting down the learning tree anytime soon. On Tuesday, Jericho filed to trademark the phrase, "Hi guys." Jericho has adopted the saying as his new catchphrase during the learning tree era, greeting fans with it every time he begins one of his promos. The trademark appears to have been filed primarily for merchandising reasons, such as hats, shirts, even socks and bandanas. Jericho has filed the trademark with the help of gimmick attorney Michael Dawkins and is currently awaiting examination from the USPTO. Should the trademark be approved, it will provide Jericho with some good news at a time he's found himself in a bit of a slump. The first ever AEW World Champion lost the FTW Championship back to Hook at AEW All In a few weeks ago, and has recently found himself at odds with Orange Cassidy, who defeated Keith on an episode of AEW Collision, though Jericho did later steal Cassidy's backpack. Jericho will look to regain a bit of momentum this weekend, but not in an AEW ring. Instead, he'll be traveling to Mexico for the CMLL 91st anniversary show, where he'll compete against Mystico in the main event. It'll be Jericho's first match for CMLL in 29 years, having previously worked there back as Corazon de Leon. A bit of an injury update here on AEW star The Blade following quite serious surgery. The Butcher and The Blade have been members of the AEW roster since the company's early days, and though they've never risen to the top of the card, the duo had found a niche that saw them featured occasionally on television. That hasn't been the case in 2024, as The Blade has been sidelined with an injury. The wrestler took to Instagram recently to reveal that he recently underwent successful back fusion surgery. In addition to a short video of himself walking down the hospital hallway, he posted a photo of a hospital meal, complete with various plastic containers and what looks to be extra jello. The comments for the post feature several fellow AEW stars, including the long-absent Miro, wishing him well. The last time the Butcher and the Blade performed on AEW TV was in January, teaming up with Kip Sabian on the January 5th episode of AEW Rampage in a losing effort against Mark Briscoe and the Hardy Brothers. 1 week later, the Butcher and the Blade lost a match against Top Flight during a Ring of Honor taping. Now, Ricochet, of course, he looks set for a collision against Will Ospreay in AEW, and he's teased the match possibly to be taking place at AEW Grand Slam. Since Ricochet's AEW debut at the All In London pay-per-view, there's been a lot of speculation about the former WWE star renewing his rivalry with Will Ospreay. It appeared that we were on track to see this match following All Out, when Ospreay told Ricochet at a backstage segment to win some matches so he can challenge him for the AEW International Championship. Ospreay has now commented on his excitement for the AEW Grand Slam tapings on September 25th at Arthur Ashe Stadium, and it was quote tweeted by Ricochet saying, "See you there, little bro," possibly indicating we could be set for Ospreay versus Ricochet at Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York. And finally, the crossover between TNA Wrestling and NXT continues because we're going to be getting a Knockouts Championship match involving an NXT talent this coming week at Victory Road. TNA Knockouts World Champion Jordynne Grace defended her title against Sol Ruca in an open challenge on Tuesday night's episode of NXT. The match went to a no contest, however, following interference from Wendy Chu and Rosemary, with Chu standing tall after she choked out Grace. TNA have now announced that Jordynne Grace will defend her TNA Knockouts World Championship against Wendy Chu at Victory Road. The TNA Plus special will emanate from San Antonio, Texas on Friday, September 13th. WWE, NXT and TNA Wrestling have worked together on a full-time basis since May, with Jordynne Grace kicking off the partnership when she challenged Roxanne Perez for the NXT Women's Championship at the Battleground PLE. And a bit more of an update when it comes to Victory Road this Friday. Just in the last few minutes, Fightful's Sean Ross Sapp has posted on X saying the following, quote, "TNA is internally touting this Friday's Victory Road as one of their highest selling US shows of the year. In fact, they expect it to hit #1 by bell time, so certainly interest in TNA possibly rising, a part of this crossover with WWE. But there you go, guys, the latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button, be sure to subscribe bottom right hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.